doing a Starcade in a 6-pack?
I actually like the idea of that name for a show, Starcade in a 6-pack. That actually sounds pretty fucking awesome.
It was like one of our first shows that we did on this channel. Is me and Basement got drunk watching Starcade 1983.
Oh God. Oh God. Wasn't it? It was Flair and Race, right? That was.
Flair.
Fucking pull up the dialysis machine now, then, before you even fucking like start the goddamn like intro. Jesus.
It's one of the very first videos that we did on this channel. You're fired,
Heather.
We'll talk about some things. There's some stuff that I want to say. We're doing No Bucks Given Saturday night, right?
As far as I know, I'm gonna be free.
Yep, I am here. I am in Johnston, Iowa.
You're in a Johnston?
Yes. The Johnston.
I will say that, like, sorry, from the angle that I'm seeing your room in, I'm assuming that's a window behind the curtain there, but it doesn't look like there's a window whatsoever. It just looks like a brick fucking wall with a curtain behind it.
It's the curtain that looks like a brick. It does.
Yeah, it looks like it's a continuation of the brick wall. So it's like, yeah, we need to make sure that you're protected from the view of the brick wall. Oh God, POV.
I masturbated right there. Kidding, I did not.
Tomorrow it's gonna be the other bed.
I did
Switch.
not.
Have you played the levels yet? How far have you gotten? Let's find out. All right. This will be good. But Crash Bandicoot is actually one of the first like platform games I ever played, even before Mario. Like when I got introduced into gaming really late, and so I originally started with a PlayStation. That was like one of the first consoles I actually owned. I would borrow or rent an N64, but PlayStation 1 was the first one, so I have a lot of like fond memories. And Crash Bandicoot was one of the first ones I played, and I fell in love with. It was like my first platformer. So when I heard that they came out with this fourth one, I was like, holy hell, yes, this is amazing. I have played this game. I have beaten this game. The frustrating part with this game is that if you want to be a completionist, you will blow your fucking brains out. Yeah. I've attempted to go back and try to complete the levels as best as I can. I think I got to like 60-something%. And that's after completing the entire story mode and going back and trying to get other, like, there's fucking 6 crystals per level. So have fun, Heather.
So when you're talking about completionist, I actually, and I can't, correct me if I'm wrong, it was Harry Potter. Because I got Heather I think all 7, she went and did the story mode and went back, and I sat and watched her, and I wanted to throw myself out a fucking window. It was Harry Potter window. So if she thinks she's going to try to complete this at 100%, great here, probably.
I joke about Lego games being tough to complete. They're not too bad. It's very time consuming. I have a story that I told before where I played one of the Lego Marvel games, shocker, and I was trying to unlock every character. And I think I was missing 2 characters. I had gotten all, and it's a huge roster, and I was missing just 2. And my son and his friend decided to, let's play our own game, and they deleted my I was 98% complete with do the whole thing. And so I'm like, fuck this and fuck Lego games, blah, 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 and just and off on a fucking tangent. Like Lego games are not bad as far as completionists. It's just time consuming. This is fucking Satan.
Yeah.
This is a whole different stratosphere because you have you have 6 crystals per level. You have then inverted versions of those levels, and there's 6 crystals there. You have to get each relic in each level, which is like the time trial thing. And then there are the hidden tapes, which is like bonus levels. But you can only get access to those bonus levels by getting the tapes that are hidden in the levels. And you have to get them by reaching them without dying. And sometimes they're close, sometimes they're very far into the level, so yeah, we're not going for completionists on this one.
Speaking of Star Wars, actually, have you watched anything Star Wars recently?
No, I've heard some good things about Andor.
It's so, I don't know, man. It's like dragging for me, and I'm not seeing what's like. So they spent, spoilers for everybody. So there's like, was it 2 or 3 episodes, Heather, where where he's in a prison, and it is just
Prison Break.
You ever seen A Clockwork Orange and how mind-numbing that at points can be?
Oh yeah.
That's what this felt like.
Well, I think Mando 3 is coming out February?
Something like that. But I'm talking about Tales of the Jedi. What Dave Filoni. I think Dave Filoni is fucking George Lucas.
Yeah, we talked about this before, yeah.
Because if you go and watch it, and essentially it's the story of Ahsoka and...
It's the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world.
It's a story of him, of her, and Count Dooku. And it actually explains how he became a Sith Lord. It's really, and it's 15-minute videos. They're not this 45-minute to an, it's 15-minute videos, and they explains everything. And it's like, oh, that's why he did what he did. Or, this is interesting. This is how they figured out she was a Jedi. It's really good. I highly recommend going to watch it because Ahsoka is going to be coming out in 2023.
I don't know how far behind you are, but when you're sliding under those huts, oh, never mind, you found it. I was gonna say the hidden gem. Yeah. Those hidden gems are fucking bitches, man. Some are not bad at all. Some are like relatively easy, and then some it's like, how on God's fucking green earth were you expecting anyone to not use some sort of cheat code system or FAQ guide through lookup to look up where the fuck this thing is? This is why this game infuriates me sometimes. But
I highly recommend you go and watch Tales of the Jedi. It
I
explains.
I like that idea. It sounds great. I was just laughing at like. Listen, Star Wars has got some funny, goofy names, and just whoever's idea it was for a guy's name to be Dooku.
Yes, I do agree with that. Whoever, I mean,
Dookie Maki Kaka.
I think the reason that they did that was I think it was just because it's a different universe and they were trying to go away from fucking using Jonathan as a fucking name. You know, you get what I mean?
Darth
like
Jonathan.
Darth Jonathan. What the fuck good is that?
Darth
like,
Ted.
But Count Dooku is his real name.
Lord Keith.
Yeah, Lord Keith. Or Darth. So
You gotta bounce on the. You gotta bounce on it and then like jump off of it, slide, and then jump off.
The funny thing was, I don't know if you've seen Pitch Perfect.
Yes.
So the scene where the guy, I can't remember his name, he's explaining to her about the endings in movies and he wanted to, explaining what he wanted to do and why, and he said Darth Vader, some of the most iconic. She looks at him and goes, his name is literally Darth Father. Like, it's literally German for father.
By the way, Heather, I saw that frustration on your face too, and I felt that.
But I do seriously highly recommend that everybody, you're into Star Wars and you're kind of lost as to why Count Dooku is who he became, go watch Tales of the Jedi.
I think that was out already, but yeah, I definitely want to go check that out. Plus, we'll be doing a Star Wars roundtable eventually.
Yeah.
After I'm done torturing my friends here with... We're almost done. Although
Personally, what I will do is I won't go into all of those cartoons and the series and all that stuff. They'll be mentioned because
thank God.
There's no need to really go through all of them because I don't think we need to. You can make mention of them because that makes more sense than actually. It's mostly going to be the movies because the movies are what everybody is all about.
Yeah, I've noticed. I mean, I haven't watched. Like I said, I haven't watched Andor yet, but even fuck.
Because they tie into the movies. They tie into the movies. That's
well, what I was gonna say was we've only had what Mando, right? Mando and Book of Boba. That's the only two shows in Andor that.
There's the.
Oh, Clone Wars. Yeah. I'm sorry. I meant more the modern, the current, the more recent stuff.
Like we do Rogue One, we'll mention Rebels. Like they're. Yeah. So I'm not.
Yay, first level done.
Ahsoka. Well, I actually read up on Ahsoka. Apparently, Ahsoka is going to have Ezra Bridger. It's going to have Sabine and Ahsoka. So they're going to tie it in to after Rebels ended. Which makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. They would tie it all together.
You don't need to know what happens. So.
I hate this fucking rope level. Go ahead.
So the Tales of the Jedi, when you watch it, will tie everything into why Ahsoka joined the Rebels. Because you already and that's not a spoiler. If you watched any of them, you already know that Ahsoka joined the Rebels. So that you'll tie into that, and then it'll tie into.
Wait, Vader's who?
Vader too. They did that with Bad Batch and season 7 of Clone Wars.
Right. Yeah. I've seen that piece. Oh, you got hosed on that piece, Heather. Sorry, I know we were like a little behind on the stream, but like I saw the blow up. Like, that was horse shit. That was horse shit. But yeah, we'll do a Harry Potter roundtable. Then we'll do.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to the Harry Potter roundtable.
I am too.
And Heather will be hosting that one for sure.
Cool.
Because she knows more about the fucking shit than I do. And I'll still have questions. Because I still have questions.
We gotta get you guys to Universal.
Heather's read all the books. So
I think I've read. I know I didn't read the last one. I know that much. However, I think I stopped at either 4 or 5. Oh no! Well, I mean, I'm gonna do my research. No, I remember I remember that like the books were like 2 behind, right? Like as far as the movies. That god damn this fucking asshole tiki bastard. I remember the books being like 2 years, or sorry, the movies being 2 years behind the book. So like if the 4th book was out, the 2nd movie just came out. If the 5th book came out, the 3rd movie just came out. And I remember when I read the 4th one, and then I saw the movie, I was like, holy fuck, they left a lot out.
The very first Harry Potter movie, because I was like, oh fuck Harry Potter, it's just gonna be like that fucking, you know, I mean, my daughter grew up with that shit.
Yeah.
You know. And so I'm like, she wanted to go to the movie, and I said, all right, well, what do you want to see? And at the time, she was big in Harry Potter. So I'm like, okay, we'll go see this movie. The very first Harry Potter movie I seen was Order of the Phoenix. Jeez. Yeah, I didn't watch them.
Yeah.
I did not. Like, I watched the one Twilight movie, and that was the one before Breaking Dawn.
I didn't see that. Now, have you tried getting the color gem on this one? So, if you look at there's a sign right there, right? I think it shows like the pattern that you jump on the platforms on. In certain, fucking. And if you do that, you'll get the colored gem at the end. But I'll tell you right now, it is a little bit of a bitch. But you have to hit every fucking square, but you have to hit every square in a certain pattern. It's, yeah. I think it's like middle, like the bottom middle, and then you go around. But you can just skip that at this point. I'm trying to think. Oh, Order of the Phoenix was fucking that bitch. What was her name that everybody universally hates? Umbridge? Umbridge? Yeah. Oh. It's funny because I've seen the TikTok that said, like, name something that everyone can universally commonly agree with together. And someone's like, everyone hates this fucking bitch.
I actually liked her.
Well, I mean, I actually liked her character for the only reason of, like, it feels like it gave a different, like, well, I shouldn't say a different tone to the movie. I feel like there's always a different tone to the movie where you have, like, Harry being the good guy, trying to figure out what's going on, but trying to be sneaky underneath the authoritative figure.
Oh yeah, I hated Umbridge. Umbridge was Professor Umbridge was an annoying character.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Umbridge was Umbridge sucked. But what I'm saying is that she helped create another foil of, like, you know, adding to the common trope of, like, Harry tries to figure out what's going on, this mystery or this you know, threat. He has to do it underneath the guise of underneath authoritative figures. There's usually a good one, which is usually Dumbledore, and there's always a bad one, which is either or presumably Snape or Umbridge in this case.
Was it?
Then,
Heather, wasn't Umbridge under a spell, though?
but she's a cunt.
The Fungus charm?
No, Alpha. It's just that me and JP can't shut the fuck up. He's like, I think Heather might be muted. I'm like, no, we can't shut the fuck up.
Nope. Heather's talking. She's just, we aren't giving her a chance to talk.
Plus, this game does require a shit ton of focus. I'm not gonna lie.
That's why Connor and I are here.
Yes, for moral
See, what
support.
else can we talk about?
No, actually, my mic settings were on something completely different.
What?
Computer. We shut the computer off on a daily basis. I don't know.
Probably a good idea. I just leave mine on forever and just burn up the battery.
Well,
Something
usually,
that was
so when we first got it, when we first got the computer, we put it into sleep mode at the end of the night, at the end of the day.
Yep.
But since the problems we've been having with it, we decided it was best to turn it off and let the CPU completely rest overnight.
Probably a good idea. Dun, 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 dun. Oh shit, that's who it was. Sorry, I just saw a thing on Twitter. It's like the Masked Singer. It's like, oh, that's Chris Jericho, and it's like, if you listen to it, like, of course it's fucking Chris Jericho.
That guy sucks. He can't fucking sing. I don't know what.
Didn't like it.
I don't understand why people think that fucking one song, that fucking, what's the name of that fucking song that he has?
Judas?
It sucks. I don't
Catchy.
like. It's stupid. He sounds like a geriatric fucking teenager. But he is geriatric. He's older than me.
I was about to say, you're not too far off with the
No,
description
you're
there.
not.
I don't see what people see about his fight. It's terrible. His music sucks.
I've listened to some good chunk of Fozzy stuff. I don't mind it. I think that I would never listen to Jericho by himself.
No.
He's in the best genre for his voice. Like it's not like, I always make the joke of this. You know that fucking Aerosmith song where it's like, I don't want to close my eyes. The funny thing is that I love that song for one pure reason. Steven Tyler has a pretty good singing voice that entire song, except for that very, very end where he just screams at the top of his fucking lungs. And I'm like, you fucking ruined it. But yeah, I couldn't hear Jericho in anything else. Like, I couldn't hear him in, like, fucking...
I will tell you this right now. If I was in an AEW show
Mhm.
and somebody started singing that next to me, I'd probably get into a fight. I would literally turn to them and say,
Then don't go to a show.
Can you shut the fuck up? You sound... These fans are fucking annoying.
It's smart
Yeah.
marketing. I can tell you that much.
It is, but it's just like... You're trying to sound like the guy. The guy can't fucking sing. I'm sorry, I don't think he can sing. I think he's terrible.
Don't worry. We have a thing where
Guy
he
has
loses.
no voice.
It's a well-
And I'm so his whole demo god thing. I was listening to Jim Cornette last week. 1.02 million people started out watching the show. Were you in the car with me, Heather, when they said that?
Uh-huh.
Do you know how many people were watching his match?
How many?
700,000. They lost 300,000 viewers.
Wait, it went from 100. You said 1.2, right?
1.1 million 20 some thousand started watching.
I'm like, that's half. I'm like, that's half of people.
The highest viewed segment on the show was what's their fucking nuts? Scissor Me fucking Daddy fucking guys.
The
They-
Acclaimed.
The ass boys?
Oh yeah.
The Ass Boys, the Acclaimed.
Fuck.
They got I think they had more than what they started out with. But Jericho, who's apparently the demo god, and he's the Ocho, he's this, he's like fucking... So, 700,000 viewers. They lost 300,000 viewers.
I can hear Heather quietly raging over there while watching me catch up on the stream here.
It's like...
They're... Well, Dynamite's been around, what, 3 years?
Yeah, they're in trouble, man.
Well.
I think, well, I don't think they're going anywhere.
No.
They never will go anywhere for as long as TNT is around. But then again, how long are they going to be around? Because of all this fucking shit.
I saw that, Heather. Nice save.
I don't know, man. The reason I say they're in trouble is they're losing viewers by the thousands.
But that's not where they're making their money.
No.
Well, let me rephrase that. TV is where they're making their money, but it's not through viewerships. It's usually through the TV deals, and I think that having the relationship they have with like TNT and TBS and Time Warner and all that's probably the one of the smartest things they could have done as far as getting like not a major network but a relatively large network to have their backing on them. But the problem that I don't know this because I don't know the inner workings of the company, but I don't know what their big plans are. I don't want to, and I'm not even talking like creatively. I'm talking like from a business perspective. Like I just heard that they're looking to break into the UK next year, I think. Which, great. I think that's something that's definitely needed. But there's a lot of like small things too that it's just like, I don't know. It does make me like question like what the long-term plan and goal is the company, because I would think they would. The best thing they could do is no disrespect to TNT and TBS, but land on another major network, one that could be a little bit bigger and give them a little bit more of an audience. But the other problem with that is that AEW, for better or for worse, caters to more hardcore fans.
Yes.
Now that's not to say that they won't get casuals and they won't get other people, like, especially with some of the names they have, but that is it's a double-edged sword. It's like it's what brings you to the table and brings you to the dance, but you have to be able to you have to be able to grow from there. You always want to look at growth, right? And I feel like Tony
doesn't know how to do that.
I can't say that yet. I can't say that for sure. What's up, Cody? Joining us in the Chizat. I can't say that he doesn't know how to do that, because everything's been such a fucking whirlwind of a mess with CM Punk and that whole fucking debacle. There's a lot of things that I think AEW needs to like grow out of from a business perspective, and it's not there yet. It's still in its infancy. But by the 5-year mark, I would like to hope that there's a little bit more clear-cut vision of things, because right now it just seems like things are kind of the wild west over there.
Yeah. And
that can be cool to it from a creative standpoint, but like business-wise, I question what the long-term goal and what are the long-term goals? What are we looking at as far as like what's the next couple of years looking like? Are we looking to do bigger arenas? Are we looking to do different arenas? Are we looking to do like maybe a promotion with New Japan? Like, just I feel like a lot of things. I get the feeling a lot of things are booked on the not booked on the fly, but plans are happening more spur of the moment than anything else. That's just me.
So the thing with them. Okay, so the thing with them in New Japan. There was like 3, 4, 5 months ago when they brought in Okada and Tanahashi for that like right around the time that CM Punk got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Remember they were doing, but they brought Kazuchika Okada in. Bit of a pop, but it didn't move the needle as much as they thought it was going to, which tells me that New Japan isn't as big as everybody thought it was.
I mean, more like working in Japan.
Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and Hangman Page left there. Nobody cared.
Well, no,
I didn't say nobody cared. The hardcore fans cared. I'm not going to sit here. They're always going to have the hardcore fans. Hardcore wrestling fans will always stick around.
right.
They'll even, the hardcore fans will watch WWE.
Mm-hmm.
The only way that AEW will ever go anywhere near WWE or get
They won't.
no, they're right now. They're WWE light right now. They're not. They're doing things that WWE. It's so fucked up. I want them to succeed. I truly do. I mean, I talk a lot of shit about them. I truly want them to succeed. I want them to give me the reason to watch their show.
In a sense, they are succeeding, but the whole idea that people think AEW is ever going to overtake WWE is fucking so nonsensical. It's like fucking vapid because there's no the Monday Night War between WWE and WCW will never be replicated again. It will never fucking happen. You will never have the perfect storm of having a company that would have the money, the resources, and the
right network.
And the right network at the right time to compete against Vince or WWF now, because I can't say Vince because Vince isn't there anymore. But the point is that no one there will be never another company that will ever compete and be on equal par or even remotely close to WWE in terms of overall business stature. You could argue booking, you can argue matchmaking, and matches themselves. That's subjective. But from a business pure standpoint, no one's ever gonna fucking touch them again, ever.
But right now, WWE is, since Triple H has taken over, and again, you all know how I felt about it. I didn't think anything was going to change. He has done a masterful job. He hasn't made changes, like huge changes. It's been those subtle changes. Like wrestling, there's actually storylines that everybody's invested in. Matches, they're the flow of the show. I think the problem with people hating on WWE is mostly Vince, but it had a lot to do with the flow of the weekly show. The flow of the weekly show was just so mind-numbing that people just have a 2-minute match and then a 15-minute promo, and then a 10-minute backstage segment, and then a 3-minute match, and then another fucking segment backstage where it was mind-numbing.
You talk about booking on the fly. That's fact. That was
That was the epitome of booking on the fly.
Right now, WWE is not doing that.
No, and if anything, the other part that I found very interesting, I did watch, I think, a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown a couple of weeks ago, because I did want to see how things changed. And one thing I will notice is that not everything, but almost every, I'm pretty sure I could take that back. Every match and almost every segment had a purpose. It was not wasted. It was not, oh my God. Can I just say how happy I am that they fucking like explain things and go into more detail about things on fucking commentary? I am so happy about that.
Yeah.
Shit, they fucking mentioned the Bullet Club. Oh my God.
Where I will disagree, just put in the chat. AEW is nothing more than WCW reincarnated. In fact, I'll say AEW is worse than WCW. Which version of WCW? Because I will argue that the earlier version of WCW is really good. So like, and this is pre NW.
It's like 97.
So and it's not even before Eric Bischoff took over. Eric Bischoff is a fucking genius. For what he was the one. He is the reason that you see the wrestling. Let me be clear about this. Vince took it to that next level, but Eric Bischoff started this real life storyline. NWO was, how do they say it? I can't. Real life story kind of storytelling that they did with the NWO by using their real names made so much fucking sense.
Well, I mean, they couldn't use the other names anyway, but yeah.
Even if. I don't think they were going to use Diesel. I think he was literally, and this is why I say that, because he said it, and I believe Eric Bischoff wholeheartedly. He was never, and Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, and they said that they were going to use their real names. They used their real names, and it worked. What really made that thing tick is everybody, they didn't say, everybody knew where Kevin Nash and Scott Hall came from.
It was the perfect presentation of suspension of disbelief.
WCW did an invasion angle without doing an invasion angle. If that makes sense.
No, they did the perfect portrayal of suspension of disbelief, where you in essence, you know who we are, you know why we're here to invade, and you can let the audience fill in their own, without saying it. However, it got so bad to a point where I think it was the Bash at the Beach. No. What was before that?
Pay-per-view before Bash at the Beach.
The pay-per-view before that. Hall and Nash had to come out on an interview with Mean Gene and legally say they do not work.
It was with Bischoff.
Oh no, you're right. It was with. Yeah, you're right. Yep. You're right. It was with.
It was June, so it'd be Great American Bash.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but the fact that they had to come out and like because of legal reasons, they had to say that. I was like, son of a bitch. That's good shit. That's good shit right there. That's not good shit. What happened to Heather? I feel bad, but yeah.
So you'll never see anything like that again in wrestling.
No.
I really think, and I seen it on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. Somebody said Ring of Honor. Since Tony Khan owns Ring of Honor, I think he should do an invasion angle.
Give me Ring of Honor.
Why? Number one, that wouldn't work because he's already brought these guys in to wrestle on his fucking show. So why in the fuck would they do an invasion angle?
Ooh,
What? How does that make it? Well, I'm just trying to stop. Your fantasy booking sucks because it can't happen.
Give me Ring of Honor. Tony, if you're listening to, if you're watching this random Crash Bandicoot stream on a Wednesday night, give me Ring of Honor.
But I will not put the title on Chris Jericho. I would, if he's not a Ring of Honor guy.
No, but he gets you. That's your heater.
You know why they put the title on him? It's because he's the demo god. He's the guy. He's the guy that brings in the viewers. But he don't anymore. They need to move on from it.
No, but make him the catalyst.
Danielson would be the guy that you put the title on.
That's your babyface champion. Yes, that's who I would. That's who I would make your next. Well, you could do heel too, but no, I would do that as your heater just to get the notoriety on the belt first, and then.
But people just don't care about it.
Well,
that's why people are leaving in droves. They don't want him to be the champion.
Don't break all those boxes, Heather. He needs to get back.
I like Chris Jericho, but he is starting to seem like Chris Jericho I'm starting to think is part of the reason why CM Punk isn't there anymore.
Well, he's said to. He
told Tony Khan to fire
he's a
him.
cancer.
He didn't want it there.
He said right apparently to his face that he's a cancer.
Yeah.
So.
But Chris Jericho is afraid he's going to become irrelevant.
Okay.
I think Chris Jericho is afraid he's becoming Hulk Hogan. You know how people fucking, you know how people, everybody.
Not wrong.
Huh?
He's not wrong.
No, CM Punk is a cancer. I will say CM Punk is a cancer. I think that Kenny Omega is a cancer. I think the Young Bucks are a cancer. I think Hangman Page is a cancer. That's the guys. Why did Cody Rhodes leave?
I think they need to get rid of their EVP statuses. I'll say that much.
They either need that, or they need to fucking realize that they aren't the reason why AEW is a thing. Tony Khan is the reason AEW is a thing. Because without Tony Khan, there is no AEW.
Right.
So these EVPs just need to shut the fuck up. Be wrestlers.
Been hitting the spin button, you shit.
There we go.
I think they just need to move on from their titles and just be wrestlers. It's just like I said, I want AEW. I like Kenny Omega as an in-ring performer, but the guy should never beat.
Yeah, I don't think they should be EVPs. If for anything else, certainly the CM Punk fiasco. If anything, if for any other reason, but
I think that they're all cancers. I don't think that any one of them are innocent in anything that happened. But I think Chris Jericho is taking the ball, and he's becoming the Hulk Hogan. He does not want to be. Now that being said, I don't think everybody, the whole creative card bullshit with Hulk Hogan is not a true thing. He played it one time. One time he played it, and everybody ever since then fucking shit all over Hulk Hogan because he played that fucking card at Bash at the Beach. Justifiably so, because Vince Russo doesn't know what the fuck he is doing.
yeah, but that's a recipe for disaster. Even if that was the only time he did it, that's still a fucking massively bad power move for anybody to have.
And everybody, he buried people. No, that was Vince. Vince. Well, he trying to think. Who did he accused of burying on WWE?
Who wasn't he burying?
Oh, Bret Hart. WrestleMania 9. That was Vince. So you remember WrestleMania 9?
Yeah.
So they accused Bret Hart, they accused Hulk Hogan of burying Bret Hart because Hulk Hogan wanted to be the champion. Like, who cares? See, being the champion, I wouldn't want it. Doesn't mean you're the most over thing in wrestling. Being the champion isn't everything. Yes.
No, but to them it might have been. What's up, Trek?
What's
Not
up?
much doing tonight.
Doing all right.
Don't break Heather's concentration. You might lose a limb.
No, I grew up in house with 4 women. I know not to screw around with that.
Well, she's playing Crash Bandicoot, and it's chipping away at her soul.
Yeah.
She also says listen to me and JP chit chat about wrestling. I just saw that drop. I feel so bad because I know exactly how Heather feels over this exact fucking game, over those exact fucking problems. So.
At least I beat the fucking level.
Yeah. All right. So the whole thing that AEW and WCW is the same thing. It is not. They are not. I creatively people can say like, oh, it looks similar because of certain moves they do. They said the same thing about fucking TNA.
They
In
say the same thing about every wrestling promotion out there.
Yeah.
I will say this. When I say it, I'm not saying from what I've seen, because I actually watched WCW. You can see some. You can't tell me you don't see similarities in what they are doing.
Right. Especially acquiring ex-WWE talent. Yeah. Freaking.
Right. Well, that too. But there are some booking decisions that you see, or storytelling, or storylines that you see that are pretty like WCW. Like I can go back and watch a WC. I can see something on AEW, and I can pinpoint exactly what storyline happened in WCW, and it's very simple.
Yeah, and I get that, but the circumstances are also very different too, as far as the behind the scenes and whatnot. I mean, bottom line is that nobody wanted WCW around except for Ted Turner, and the fact that it lasted as long as it did is a fucking miracle in and of itself, because it probably would have died in like '98, and it lasted 3 more years, unfortunately. So I hate when people make these blasé, nonchalant comparisons and like just like, oh, it's this all over again, and they're just saying it off the fucking cuff. Like, right. You know, they're saying it off the cuff because they're like, oh, you know, this company sucks and this is that and blah blah blah, and just I don't know, but I don't think AEW is in trouble. Back to like our conversation 5 hours ago, I don't think AEW is in trouble. But if they don't start showcasing what they're looking to do or talking about, the one thing I would love to hear about, honest to God, is if Tony Khan did an interview and said, hey, so this is what we got going on with AEW right now, blah, blah, blah. Here's our next pay-per-view or whatever we're working on, blah, blah. The future of AEW is looking very bright. This is what we have. This is what our big goals are for. I'd love to hear a list of his goals for 2023. Honest,
he doesn't have any. That's the problem.
I know, that's the fucking problem.
That's what he's been saying.
I don't even give a shit if like it's like, oh, we want to do a UK tour, we want to do this arena, we want to hit these numbers. Fine. At least it tells me that you have an idea for a business mindset of saying, you know, I have a goal in mind and I want to hit it. It just seems like he comes out and just brags about whatever they fucking did, which kudos. Okay, to your point, pat yourself on the back as far as some of the numbers they've drawn, yes. But, dude, gotta look ahead to the future, man. And you know, he could be. I don't fucking know. He doesn't fucking talk about it.
Yeah, every time he does an interview, it's like, I can't talk about that. It's like, then why are you fucking there?
So that, who was the guy that you did that interview with? Hawani?
Yes, Ariel Hawani, yeah.
And I'm like, he asked him a question, and he's like, I don't want to talk about that. You don't want to.
Yeah, I did see that one.
So do you not want to talk about it, or do you just can't talk about it? I mean, he could come out and said, I can't speak on that. I told that I can't speak on that.
He was in a mood from the whole fucking CM Punk bullshit.
So,
at least that's the way I interpret it. And DJ, I don't think Punk will go back to WWE.
No.
Heard that a long time ago.
So you see, and we all hate this guy. Well, I do personally. Well, I listen to him because he does have some very valid points. He stated, and I'm not even gonna say what his name is. but I'm pretty sure you all know who he is. It's that IWC guy. He said that if he, and I agree with it wholeheartedly, if he goes back to WWE, it'll kill him. It'll ruin his career. He's become exactly what, he's not in it to wrestle anymore. He's in it for the fucking money.
Yeah.
So, I think he's just not worth it.
No.
Because if you even if you take away your personal opinions about him and like your feelings about like, you know, how he left or anything like that. Look, the last like run or so with Triple H was in Vince's ear. He had so many people to be in the Hall of Fame and be part of the company that you would like never in a million fucking years thought they would ever get back. You never thought you'd see Bruno involved in wrestling again. You never thought you'd see Ultimate Warrior back in. You never thought they would ever get Sting in. Oh God, I know that look. Breathe, Heather. You got this. I know it's tough. So I don't think it's a matter of like not like I think WWE could easily throw them enough money. I mean, even CM Punk was considered like he was kind of even like teasing the idea or considering the idea before he left the Fox Sports show that they were doing. But I personally do not think he is worth the trouble, and I think that
That's not hitting the fucking trigger.
I think the all out situation, right or wrong, is not that is going to kill business for him.
Yep.
Yes. So John Cena burying Nexus, that was Vince. That was Vince's idea.
Well, supposedly Cena wanted to go over at SummerSlam, and even he is admitted in the past that he's like, that was stupid.
I think he did state, and I think I remember somebody talked about this. He said that if he had to go back, he would have said he would have disagreed with it. So I think it wasn't John Cena alone. It was Vince. Vince is the one that threw the idea out there. John Cena just went along with it because it was the thing to do at the time. Because yeah, and that's what they did. But he did say that if I would have disagreed to it.
But you know what company's really in trouble is NWA. And it's not because it's not because I got JP and Heather, who are the wonderful co-GMs of NWA done the right way.
I don't understand why that man would be the face of any company. And we're talking about Nick Aldis. Why? He was the only reason I would have watched. Now, I will say this, the guy that they have is the NWA World Champion. I like Tyrus. He's a bigger guy, so he can't do all that stupid shit that everybody fucking wants.
You gotta see the match, man.
I don't think they put him in situations in matches that he shouldn't be in.
Yep.
He's a bigger guy. He should be in matches that... Yeah, he could jump off the fucking top rope. Yeah, he can jump off the second rope, but he's 500 pounds, man. I mean, he's agile for his size. He's no fucking Vader, you know?
He's not really that agile anymore either.
No, I mean, but... The reason that he is the NWA World Heavyweight Champion is because he is on Fox News and they get tons of views on there.
So here's the problem with that.
And I agree with you. I think I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
He's been on that show for years.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I thought the exact same thing at first. I didn't realize he had been on the show for such a long period of time as the NWA World Television Champion. So you would think that if he was doing that, which he rightfully should have been doing, that it would have brought the audience over a lot sooner.
Right.
I don't think putting the NWA World Heavyweight Championship on to Tyrus is not going to draw tickets.
No. But I think that's okay. All I'm saying is that's why they did it, because they.
I'm sure that's probably one of, if not, well.
It might at first, but then they see him wrestle, and it's gonna be like.
It's bad.
So
the Nick Aldis situation is a.
Tyrus, I do. Dude, he's funny as fuck.
I don't mind him as an individual, as a person. It's just that as a performer, I don't think putting the belt on him was a good. Heather, I'm assuming you stopped giving up on trying to get all the boxes at this point, right? Yeah, because it's just I can hear that from the voice. Oh God, now I see why you're pissed off, and rightfully so. So okay, the Nick Aldis situation.
Yep.
That was dumb. That was dumb that's dumb on Billy Corgan's part more than anybody.
Yes.
Nick announcing he was leaving and saying that he was leaving for like he wasn't agreeing with the direction of the NWA. Fine. That's not anything too negative. It's just saying I don't agree with the direction of the company. And understandable, because the product had changed drastically in terms of what's going on. Because I went back and watched after this whole thing fucking unfolded. I think Nick Aldis has done. You talk about people who've like transformed their image and their gimmick and their reputation and whatnot. Not that he had a bad reputation, but like let's cut the bullshit. Nick was not really. Magnus was never really a big draw in TNA when he was the world champion there. But motherfucker, did he take the role of NWA World Champion extremely seriously? And if it wasn't for what he did with that 10 Pounds of Gold series and the way he carried himself and the way he performed, the NWA would not gotten to the level that it was at with Corgan in charge. If it wasn't for him putting value and equity back into the championship, and with the way he defended it, blah blah blah, the match with Cody that he had at All In, take your fucking pick. The man sacrificed 5 years of his career to breathe life into a dead brand, and then to fucking say, "Oh, I'm giving my notice," and then because they didn't like what he said, we're gonna suspend you. That's just petty bullshit.
Boxes, sure.
Really doesn't know. He may be he's another wrestling fan that thinks he knows how to book.
He doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground.
14 fucking boxes.
He doesn't know his ass from a
Died
hole in the
16
ground.
times.
Very smart man, but he doesn't know wrestling. Did either of you guys listen to Nick Aldis's interview on Not Sam?
No.
I would really recommend it. He, as politely as possible, airs his grievances.
Yeah.
I've never heard him, like, he was extremely professional about it all way. He's like, I'm trying to be nice here. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And... like fucking I hate
So NWA if it was a thing again, which is not going to be now because of what happened, I would have watched that over any other show.
NWA Power was very
it was very 80s-ish.
It was good.
It was 1980s-ish in a 2020-ish kind of way, if that makes sense.
It was a 1980s style in a 2020 present. No, reverse that. It was 2021 or 2020 style in a 1980s presentation.
There you go. That's better.
Yeah.
I mean, look who LA Knight, Eli Drake, was there.
Yep.
Why did they let him go?
So I think
they had the guys there. They had four or five guys there
I think
that
the
they
bloom-
could have built around.
I think the bloom went off the rose for two reasons. One was COVID. COVID fucked them hard.
Yeah.
But a bigger reason was when they lost Lagana.
Yeah.
Because he was pretty much the main guy on the tapings and the shows that was kind of like leading the charge and had like a lot of directions and stuff, and now Corgan's more involved, and well, now you see, and that's why things have changed a little bit differently. So it's yeah.
I when Jim Cornette was on there, he was good. He was good. But you can't say.
Can't right now, baby.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Everybody takes, yes, what he said could be taken as that, but I don't think that's why he said it. You can't use analogies anymore without getting in trouble. I mean, come on, man. I don't want to say it, but, you know, I mean, would it have been better if you would have said the Bulgarian, it's like a Bulgarian trying to get a cookie? Would it have been better? Because they're going hungry over there.
That's a whole different can of worms.
That's a whole nother kettle of fish there.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that when Jim Cornette was there, he got fired because of what he said, which I think it's bullshit. Because you can't fucking say anything, you can't make a joke. He doesn't. I don't think Cornette believes that. I don't think he is that.
No.
He was good on there. I think he could have helped them. But I think it was better that he did go, because he would have been like, why are you doing this? You're ruining this show. Because I will be honest with you, I think Jim Cornette wants wrestling to go back to the 1980s.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
You can't do that. Even
NWA was the closest.
Right. But if they would have tried to go to, you know, hey, we got to move forward, you know, we can't. Like, damn, man, you can't stay stuck in the 1980s.
No, you gotta evolve.
Kayfabe is gone, man. That's the whole thing with wrestling in the 1980s. Yes, in the 1980s and the 1990s, fans were threatening. Like the whole thing with Scarlett Bordeaux getting that fucking drink thrown on her.
Yeah, that's horseshit.
I said it. It's not 1970s and 1980s anymore. You can't do that shit.
That was close, Heather.
Yeah.
I had 30 seconds left on the timer by the time I got up there.
I saw that. I was like, holy shit. Hey, listen, what can happen in 3 seconds? Yeah, and it sucks because I did a couple of small things with NWA. I volunteered in their thing where like they wanted people to do like reactions to like new stars and stuff. So you can't find them now. But when I was doing the OK Fave stuff, I did a couple of small things for NWA. I did some giveaways too. I was working with Fight, and it was great. But man, the product changed drastically, and it's not. But yeah, I think COVID fucking really burned them. They don't make NWA Power a YouTube show for free anymore. You have to pay for it on Fight TV, which I think is really, really dumb.
Yeah.
I think and then losing Lagana, where you had somebody who knew wrestling, who knew how to navigate and how to produce and how to do things a certain way. I think that was the 1-2 punch that really fucking. Now they have. On top of that, how many fucking titles do they have? Jesus Christ.
There's too many. It's the same with fucking AEW and WWE.
They have the television title, world title.
Here, I'll pull it up.
Title.
Women's title, tag titles.
women's title. I don't even know who they have on their roster. I know they have Tyrus, who I do thoroughly enjoy listening.
You ready?
to.
You ready for this? You have the NWA Worlds, NWA Women's, NWA Television, NWA World Junior Heavyweight,
That's
NWA World Tag, NWA World Women's Tag, NWA National, and NWA United States Tag Team Champions.
8 of them.
8 titles. For how many people do they have on their roster? 15?
Not enough.
Right now, oh, they actually have a pretty fucking deep roster, but then again,
Never show it.
Well, you can't, like Connor said, you gotta pay for it. Which is a
so
big
stupid. I thought that was so dumb. I'm like, why are you switching Power over to Fight TV for like $3? Like, don't do that. You're not gonna, you're cutting off your audience.
Yeah. The thing I liked about it was that it was free on YouTube.
I'm just gonna make it free on Fight, for fuck's sake.
There you go. Yeah, as soon as they start taking
Yeah,
their
my daddy knew.
behind the paywall, I'm like, you're about to kill you're about to kill your own product.
Well, to go, if they offered a paywall for bonus content or bonus shows and stuff that like you wouldn't see on Power, that's fine. But to completely like pull the rug out from underneath your audience like that is a bait and switch that you can't do that. Fucking Bischoff did the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Bischoff was at least smart enough to realize he's like, hey, our fucking shows are tanking, so let's put them into the MGM MGM Studios. He goes, we'll do. You're giving away the shows for free. He goes, yeah, but we'll have a fucking packed audience every single time.
Yep.
He goes, if we can't expect people, we have to raise the quality of the product. If we can't raise the quality of product where people are willing to pay for it, then we shouldn't be charging it whatsoever. And I'm like, that's fucking, yes, that makes complete sense. That was 1992? No, Jesus.
94.
4 or 5 when Bischoff took over WCW.
Yeah.
But like, that makes total fucking sense, and I completely understand that. So like, you build to the level where you get to that point. And they didn't do that. They did the exact fucking polar opposite. And yeah, I'm sure they did it as a money measure technique because they probably lost a shit ton of money for fucking, because of COVID. But it's not a good scene because no one's gonna fucking watch it. No one does.
Well, it's like Impact now. Nobody watches it.
Which sucks because I've seen a couple of things of Impact, and it's a bummer because they actually have some pretty decent matches and some pretty decent talent.
Well, there's a couple of them talents that need to shut the fuck up.
I agree.
Like
with
who, JP?
I don't know, Jordan Grace for one.
Yep.
That fucking woman. So she jumps on fucking Twitter, takes a picture of herself half fucking nude, and then people fucking tweet at her, and then she fucking responds to them. Oh, you people are nasty. Well, then don't half naked at fucking birthday cake.
Twitter in general is fucking nasty.
What the fuck do you want people to fucking say?
Well,
Let's
she's
be
also
real.
with Adam and Eve, which is pretty much a sex shop, and she acts all high and mighty.
It's a fucking idiot.
Listen, I mean, I don't like Twitter at all, to be very honest with you.
It's not even Twitter. I'm just saying, she herself does this shit.
And she even attacks the people that sit there and say something nice, not even gross about her.
They compliment the fucking woman, and she's like, "Oh, you people are nasty." What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you? Is this what your thing is? You're gonna fucking take a selfie of yourself. Like that one selfie of her, she took a selfie of herself on her couch, or in front of her couch, and a birthday cake, and she's naked.
What color was the couch, JP?
It's not fucking Twitter. Fucking people respond, "Oh, you look sexy," and she's like, "Oh, you people are nasty." Then what the fuck are you putting it on Twitter? Put it
On a very unrelated note, I am starting my OnlyFans starting next week, so if you guys want to use a promo code, promo code like a scream, all like 30 H's.
I mean, for real, man. It's like, God damn. And I think we talked about this when
We
I was
did.
still.
I wanted to know about Skittles, yes.
This, and I'm like, I don't under. She just needs to shut the fuck up.
When you put yourself out there, I learned this the hard way. When you put yourself out there, you have to be prepared for
Everything that comes your way.
Yep.
You have to be prepared for leaving that open gate. You know, intentions are great, but you know, it doesn't. There are the internet is a great and shitty thing at the same time. It's great because you get to meet wonderful, amazing people such as yourselves, but you also have just these vile, sick, just hate-filled individuals that have the ability and the freedom to hide behind the power of anonymity and can try to do and say whatever the fuck they want to an extent. And it's like fucking
Yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna, JD. So he was it last week or 2 weeks ago? He put it,
Yes.
the Cargill and Marina Shafir fucking
Yep.
thing. They put AEW put out Marina Shafir will face fucking
Jade Cargill.
and he said, "No, please God, no, don't fucking do that." And I listened to that. I listened to him talk about it because I wanted to see what he had to say about the whole Colt Cabana showing up on AEW Dynamite. And he said they attacked him. The entire women's roster DM'd his ass and attacked him. Like what? Why?
I agree with him. Just for the record, 100% agree with him. Not only in terms of his opinion, but also in terms of like okay, the only thing I could potentially criticize him for is maybe he shouldn't have directly tweeted AEW that had the wrestlers tagged in it so they saw the response. Other than that, and it's a minor nitpick, other than that, he did nothing wrong.
So my thing is AEW tweets that out, and they're expecting nobody to respond to it. They're just expecting people to read the tweet.
Oh, you should see the NWA comments.
No, I get it. I mean, people do it to WWE all the time. You see that? I say a lot. I said, I keep hearing this Bray Wyatt fucking WWE champion. Oh, please God, fucking no, we don't need it. It's not something that I ever want to fucking see. Bray Wyatt be a champion? Fine. Just not as a fucking supernatural fucking...
I don't think he ever needs a belt, to be very honest with you.
Well, I think it's going to happen. But that's another issue.
Yeah.
It's going to happen at WrestleMania, if anything.
No.
Or after WrestleMania. But I'm like... Is this so fucking imperative? If they don't want fucking people to respond, and he if you go and listen to his off the script, I'm not promoting it, but if you go and listen to it, he's actually saying, like, why do you care what I think? Why do you care?
I listened to his whole. Yeah, I listened to the entire episode.
Like, why do you care what the fuck I think about what the fuck you're doing? I'm giving my opinion. I don't want to fucking see it. And then, like, Jade Cargill, well, you're just a mark. He is. Not gonna lie. He is. I think we all. But if you're a superstar and you fucking tweet at somebody and say, you're killing your support. You're killing... Why do you care what people think? Take the fucking criticism and run with it.
It's insecurity.
Oh, you shit.
They're narcissists. I said it over and over and over again. They're narcissistic fucking people. They're all narcissistic.
That's why the whole Mark thing is like...
Narcissistic fucking clowns.
Oh, God. Just saw that, Heather. Caught up on the...
Oh, no.
You are essentially a athletic circus club.
That's where the wrestling started too. Is it started on the carny circuit? Yeah, I'm pretty much. I'm pretty much like, look. There are clearly people out here who criticize wrestling on a full-time basis. Thank God I'm not one of them anymore. And people are entitled to their opinion. Yeah, Alpha, I was just about to get to that. The whole insult of calling people marks, it's like you use that as an elitist term to make people think that you're like above them. Like, oh, you're just a fucking mark, like you're a loser or nobody. And it's like, marks fucking pay for everything you...
Exactly. If you don't
Did you
have the
not-
marks and these hardcore fans, guess what? You don't sell your merch. You don't get people buying tickets. There are not as many people buying tickets. And your show gets flushed down the drain, and then guess what? You're out of a fucking job.
Yep.
And this is why AEW doesn't get the casuals, because they shit. So some of the WWE superstars do this too. They shit on people that mention or say something.
The thing...
Alexa Bliss is known to do this. Baron Corbin's been known to do it. Shut the fuck up. Baron Corbin is I think Baron Corbin's talent. I like Baron Corbin.
I like him a lot too. So the only criticism I have to any wrestler, not just one particular group or one person in general, but like there's this wonderful feature on Twitter. I'm not sure if anybody's aware of this. It's a beautiful thing. There's actually no, I take it back. There's two features actually. There's two. One is called mute, right? And the other is one that I use a lot frequently actually now, is block.
Yep.
I understand if like you can't take criticism or if there are certain things from certain people that you don't want to see or hear. Trust me, when I came back as Mr. Marvel, there was a few people I instantly blocked right off the bat. But like I don't know, it just makes them seem like fucking self-righteous. It just makes them seem like they're like this morally superior. Like, how dare you criticize this? And like, sit down, you fucking mark. You don't know what you're talking about. It's like,
For Jade Cargill to even say that,
if you don't, then why are you responding?
She honestly, I don't think she knows what the fuck she's doing.
But like, even if you, like, I don't know, it just seems like it's like putting on blast or going on a fucking witch hunt for somebody. It's like, oh, well, everyone's about, against this person now, or against this criticism, or like, it gets to the point where like, fucking, it just gets infuriating.
Right. So, speaking of Twitter, so the elections happen. And I've got this one guy, he keeps popping in. His name is Jack Cocchiarelli. He's a fucking one of those liberal Zers, so whatever, Generation Z kids. And he pops on there and he's always, dear whatever.
Yep.
No one wants whatever in Senate. Sincerely. Americans. Well, he put out a tweet today, and it was, dear Elon Musk, no one wants Trump on Twitter. Sincerely, all Americans. Of course, me responds, dear Jack Cocchiarella, stop thinking that you can speak for all Americans. I can think and speak for myself. Sincerely, Americans that don't need your fucking input. That's how I respond to people.
Did he block you?
No.
Surprised.
No, because idiots like that like the attention.
No, he's just, he probably didn't read it because he thinks he's better than everybody else.
That goes back to the whole stupid hatred behavior of hiding behind internet anonymity. That just is infuriating.
Yeah, that is like, I don't understand. what happened to, and I even put out a tweet, what happened to our country that we hate because of their political affiliation? Like, why is this so imperative? Oh, this person is a horrible person just because he's a Republican.
Because people want to feel right.
Oh, that's 100% right. But it's...
Oh, it felt good.
Wait,
No, but it's my point is that people want to feel validated. They want to feel important. They want to feel righteous. They want to feel correct. They want to feel that they are like above everybody else. They are morally superior. They're doing better than everybody else. It's fucking internet lifestyles. It's fucking Instagram. You really think that everybody looks that fucking good all the time on Instagram? Like, fuck off.
right?
But no, but that's my point though. Is like people have this grand delusion that like you have to be right, you have to be perfect, you have to be saying all the right things, getting all the right stuff. Like you have to be morally on the right cusp, on the right side of every argument. Like Jesus Christ, fucking like. I really question reality sometimes in the sense of like I keep saying like, oh man, life as a kid was better, and I'm genuinely trying to wrap my head around like, did I really like, was life really that simpler? Was I just naive to things because I was younger, or like what the fuck is wrong with me, or is it society?
So
Fuck.
the Trek and I had, like, he was putting out, what was it the other day you were talking about? I was actually talking about, I can't remember what we were talking about, but Trek was talking about, do you remember what it was, Trek?
Oh, it's probably. I think I just said about Sasha Banks or something like that.
No, it was Alba Fire showing up for war games.
Yeah, I, like, personally don't give a shit about you know what happens. It's like, that's not saying you, Trek, but it's like
No.
people seem to think that, I don't even think it was Alba Fire. I know we had that talk and a conversation. I still don't think that's happening, but I can't remember what it was. But it's right along those lines. It's like, why are people so enamored by being right?
Yeah.
Because it feels good.
I when I argue something, I usually try to not to say that I'm right, you're wrong, or argue something that I try to argue with facts. I don't just start an argument.
As most people should.
It's one of those things, but I can't remember the whole conversation.
I just love the like. It's one of those things where I just like to like argue with facts, and it's like the fact that it has to be said like that in that way in this modern day and age is fucking sad. Not for you, JP, but like for the fact that like that has to be almost considered like an exception to the rule, and it's like that's infuriating. But I genuinely like I said, I genuinely question reality sometimes where I'm like, you know, you always hear like back in my day we blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm starting to fucking understand now why people keep saying that, and it's like, Jesus H Christ, like part of me like wonders, I'm like, was like life really that fucking simpler 30-ish years ago, or am I just like was I like just naive to the world and like looking through things with rose? Like it's fucking wonder why people sometimes like lean to nostalgia.
We were naive because we were in high school and we didn't see all of the troubles outside of high school that were going on.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that because me naive, that's impossible. That's impossible.
Yeah. Hey, but at the end of the day, when we talk about what we saw in our childhood, yes, we knew there was war going on, but we didn't care because it didn't directly affect us.
Right. True. Till like 9/11 happened and all that came crashing
Yep.
down. No pun intended.
I remember, and Trek can probably. Trek, you're not that much younger
Well,
than
good
me.
luck with that.
Growing up as a kid,
Sorry.
Didn't play
I was
that,
afraid.
yes.
I was afraid we were gonna have a nuclear war.
But I'll lend a hand where I can.
That day.
In fact, I already have.
The way things were because of Russia and the United States and how they were always threatening to attack, and this is why when I hear somebody say Kim Jong-un is fucking pointing nuclear weapons at fucking Japan, I'm like, fucking Kim Jong-un does this shit every other fucking day.
Yeah.
Every other day, this guy is fucking threatening something. He never fucking does it. The only reason he's doing is to see how far he can get. And every fucking time, the United States is like, go ahead and try it. See what fucking happens. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Wendy's taking over for this one.
Ever fucking did anything that would get him and his country destroyed.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just
But as growing up as a kid, I remember, and I thought nuclear war was a real threat back then. Everybody's threatening with nuclear war now. Neither country is dumb enough to fucking use nuclear weapons. The only reason that they started doing nuclear weapons is just to see who had the bigger dick.
yes.
Yeah.
It's us. But the other part is the other part of it that I absolutely love is the nuclear war is the fucking instructional videos of hide under your blanket, duck and cover, and basically put your head between your knees and kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah.
And don't look at the boom, because you'll go blind. Well, I'm gonna be dead in 5 minutes anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter.
What the fuck does it matter? You're fucking smoldering anyway. I remember where like I visited. I'm going off on fucking tangents. I visited one of my mom's friends who lived out in this area in Massachusetts, but it was almost like an island. It was like so far out, and it had warnings on it that basically said like, city limit, and like had fucking instructions of like, if a fucking nuclear bomb hits, you're dead. They basically like you couldn't get out fast enough because the way it was limited in terms of the transportation in and out of that area. So like if everyone's rushing at the same time to get out, you're fucked. I was like, I'm like, Mom, what's that sign? And she explained to me. I'm like, there goes my fucking day. Jesus.
It's like there's a place back on Long Island. Its name is Long Beach. Literally, the only way you can get into this town is 3 bridges. That's it.
So it's Gotham.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
literally its own little island within Long Island.
I blew the bridges. Whatever shall we do? Doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our bombs. Yes.
So what did you think of Wakanda Forever? I actually read the synopsis. I don't fucking
die.
understand.
I thought it was pretty fucking solid. It's not a perfect movie by any stretch. I felt given the massive undertaking they had of having to write the movie
Here you go, jump on the rope.
with all things considered with Chadwick Boseman and how they handled his passing, I thought was, can't say perfect, but like I couldn't have thought a better way for them to handle it. And
I thought that was probably, when I read that, I thought, okay, yeah. But here's where I have a problem with it.
mm-hmm.
He's a superhero.
Well, not anymore.
No, he's dead. But
Yeah.
I guess my point is I guess this
Well,
is
here's-
where Go ahead.
Here's the flaw in your theory of him. He's a superhero. How many other superheroes have died in the Marvel Universe up to this point?
He is mortal too. It's not like he was Thor.
Yeah, you want me to.
Or Hulk, where like killing him was an extreme like. Do you realize we have to fucking do to kill this guy? But what I was trying to get at was, it was kind of one of those things where the story was obviously not like about his passing in terms of like the how do I say this the right way without trying to spoil too much. The movie was about two things. It was about dealing with the grief of losing him and the conflict with Namor. What I liked about it was that it wasn't so much about like, oh, he's gone, we have to figure out what's going to happen with Wakanda and everything. It wasn't really, that wasn't really the story with that. It was more the growth of the characters and how they handled his passing and moving on, which I actually liked a lot more. So I was worried it was going to be one of those things where it's like, obviously they constantly remind everybody that he's gone, shocker, but that's because it's driving home the point of certain characters trying to deal with / move on from his passing. So literally in the first like 5 minutes they tell you how he's gone, and then boom, moving into it, and then you go like to the funeral, and then blah, 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 blah. So it's not like they waste any fucking time, and it's just it's right off the bat. The Namor stuff, I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible. I didn't hate the Namor conflict. Felt very basic and a little repetitive.
Oh.
What happened?
She just walked right into the bladed pole.
I saw that.
I see the synopsis.
Mhm.
So, spoilers, I don't care. I read the synopsis and I'm like, oh, what's... It didn't make sense to me. None of it did. I like how they handled his death.
Well, I can tell you what part. I can tell you off air later, or whenever, about like if the synopsis is accurate or not. I mean, it might be, but
It is.
I thought they did a pretty good job. I will say that it is probably my third favorite movie of Phase 4. It's definitely better than Thor, and it's definitely better than Doctor Strange.
Oh God, I would imagine so.
What else did we have for movies?
Spidey.
I personally think Spidey and Shang-Chi are up at the top. I think Black Panther's right underneath them. And I think after that, it would probably be... Oh, God. Probably... God, like I feel like Eternals and Black Widow are kind of neck and neck for me too. And then Thor and Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is probably the worst movie of them all this year. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate to say that, but yeah. But no, I really enjoy what they did with Black Panther. Oh, as usual, the actors and actresses fucking crushed it as far as the acting goes. It's just the plot's a little like iffy, but motion-wise, it is probably the most emotional. Yeah, it has to be the most emotional Marvel movie they've ever made.
Not at the moment, I can't. No.
It's listening. It's listening. Cody, Thor: The Dark World is best. Listen, man, I will admit, on rewatching Thor: The Dark World, I do not think it gets enough love. I think that the Malekith story is garbage. It's fucking boring. But what saves it for me is the fucking relationship and what he builds with Loki. That is what sells me on that movie. So, yeah, I don't think Thor: The Dark World gets enough love. But
I like the Thor movies. This last one sucked. I would go on to say it sucked. But it wasn't very
but it sucked.
good.
I'm not gonna say it sucked. All I'm gonna say is that it vacuumed in a certain direction.
So the first one is my favorite Thor movie. Thor: Dark World and Thor: Ragnarok are really good. And then
Another.
I would probably give that, and I didn't give my rating. I would probably. It was funny. Stupid, but funny.
Listen, I'm only defending the goats. That's all I'm gonna fucking. That's all I defended.
Fuck off with the goats, man. Goats. No, fuck. They didn't need to be in the movie. They almost ruined the movie for me. Personally.
Me and Tim saw it in the theaters, and I don't give a shit. I fucking have no shame in admitting this. Like, I have fucking dignity. I laughed every fucking time they were on there. But
I did. I'm not gonna say I didn't laugh.
to Basement's point that he said in the review, there's too many. It's kind of like Ant-Man in a way where there's too many jokes where it's like if you spaced them out, I would have laughed at more of them.
Yes.
Yes. The movie started out almost as a fucking parody.
Yeah. Cody, I'm right there with you. Winter Soldier is one of my top of all time. I was just talking in terms of Phase 4, like the ranking, but yeah, Winter Soldier is some great shit. One of the best fight sequences, in my opinion, too, of the entire MCU. But yeah, it was practically a parody of itself. No doubt about that.
Oh God, yeah. But I think because this one wants an ice cream sandwich now before going to bed. We'll call it here for the night, and maybe another night I'll pick this up again and
Sounds good.
destroy my mental status completely. But for now, tomorrow we have nothing planned. Friday we should be back to our GM mode.
HCGM. Oh, and I am currently working on the card for the November Horny Goat Wrestling event, which we'll hopefully do. I'm aiming to hopefully try and do it on Thanksgiving Sunday.
Okay.
So like towards the very, very end, if that works for everybody. I'm gonna try and make the arena called Throbble Gobble because I think it's a fucking hilarious name, and I wrote that down. And I really want to make the pay-per-view called Throbble Gobble, but if not, we'll call it fucking something else. But
I don't see why we wouldn't be able to.
Sally Magoo is now a character.
Well, it's about time she was a character. We've used her name enough times.
The 26th is Wendy's birthday. That's a Saturday.
He's saying the Sunday after.
27th.
So I'm trying to figure out what day is 27th.
It's a Sunday.
Sunday. Train leaves Boston at 5 p.m. 30 miles per hour.
I know I leave in Minnesota on the 29th.
Okay.
Tentatively.
God, it's fucking travel season for you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Oh, they got a yellow ribbon event coming, so. But with that being said, we'll check you out on Friday with the HGGM mode, and then again on Saturday with No Bucks Given.
We back,
So,
bitches.
yeah. Have a good night, and we'll see you soon.
Night, fuckers.
Peace out, bitches.
Who cares?